Peep. Welcome to Comic Book Investment Chat. I kind of tilt the camera slightly to this side so that I can have this in the shot for the whole chat. So yeah, so it's a little bit crooked. So I have to situate myself. Happy Sunday. Hope everybody's doing okay. Got my coffee. I actually had to turn on the lights. It was gloomy and rainy all night last night and this morning. So the natural light from the open window is not working today. It has to be the ceiling light. So here we go. So welcome to Sunday, comic book investment chat. For those that haven't tuned into this for a while. Hello, Vernon. Morning. I no longer record this for the podcast. I have discontinued my subscription to Podbean. So hopefully I remember to remove any kind of reference to Podbean in that channel because I did it for 2 years. And even though, yes, roughly around, I think 700 people download the chat via the podcast to listen later, ultimately, it wasn't worth the hassle for me because it costs like over $100 a year to do that, and it's not like I'm getting paid by anybody to do this, so I'm not about to flush another $100 down the tube. Okay, so is in the thumbnail, if you see the thumbnail, okay, one of the thing that for those that remember my podcast back in in May, when I had one of my live chats like this, a few viewer asked question about sell in May and go away. Sell in May and go away is a very common Wall Street lingo mantra. I'm not sure how to categorize it, but I have heard that for 30 years. And in my chat back in May, I discussed why that saying was true for a long time, because before the days of computers and internet, stockbroker, investment managers take summer off. Okay, just like most people, they have kids out of school. It's time for them to go on vacation. It's time for them to hit the beach. A lot of reason. So they step away from the stock market. And so the stock market tend to be not very good because they're not involved. They're not putting money to work, right? Hey, think about this. If you're not there to monitor your money, if you're not there to put your money to work, would you leave your money there at risk? Okay, so naturally, the market tend to do poorly between May and September or August. Okay, but that has changed. That has changed significantly over the last 20 years with the advent of computer and the internet. Now, people can trade anywhere. Okay, they can still trade when they're on vacation. So the sell in May and go away has basically become a 50-50 kind of thing, a coin toss. Okay, so I don't buy into that. I haven't followed that rule for at least a decade plus. Okay, I'm not the kind of managers or investment person that would advise everybody, it's May, time for you to liquidate your investment and sit on the sideline until the end of August, until Labor Day. Basically, that's May through Labor Day. I don't even care about that stuff. And whenever I hear it, I chuckle because I think that the people that relay that kind of sentiments are so used to hear it, and they don't really think of how technologies and how advanced things have changed that make all that mantra, saying, lingo completely useless. Okay, like I said, at best it is 50-50. And in this crazy world that we have right now, it's crazy. Now, back to this hobby. Okay, a lot of people seem to not understand, seem to not hear or heard or understand what I have been saying on this channel for the past 6 months. A, have you heard me talk about how great the economy is? No. B, have you heard me talk about how disconnect the market is, both the financial market and the collectible market? Okay, I talked about how both markets are hot, bubblicious, but the economy is in the tank. Unemployment all-time high since the depression. You can throw whatever litany of data that you want, and we all agree things are not, everybody know things are not good. Business is not back to normal. We all know that, right? So how can anyone even listen to any of my chats and think that I am talking about the economy is good? That's why the stock market is good. That's why the collectible market is good. Nobody is saying that. I'm not saying that. So yes, please clear out your earwax. It's not make any sense when I read comments of people saying, "Oh, the stock market is not indicative of a good economy." Duh, duh. Holy cow! Who doesn't know that? Who crawl out of some kind of rock to think that the strength of the stock market right now or the collectible market is correlated to a strong economy? Oh my God. Yeah, sometimes when I read the comments on my video, I'm just like head shaking, like, what are you talking about? Well, yikes. Now, the strength of the market, of course, is because of, part of it is, of course, the Fed intervention, but as usual, um, it's hard to see how all the moving parts work until after, right? Because just like last week when I show you the data of how the Fed balance sheets exploded from March through June, okay, we all knew that the Fed was buying into the market, propping up the market. But if you look at the data that I showed last week, from June through last week, guess what? The Fed barely inflate their balance sheet. So in hindsight, we can say it is the FOMO, it is the retail collectors, retail investors that are pumping up the market higher since July. Okay, so in hindsight, we see that. Now, I also thought and mentioned for the past 3 weeks, 4 weeks, that the weakness that we have in the market right now and in the past 3 weeks is not going to be a massive crash. Okay, and so far, at least, that prediction is holding true. Even Friday, where the president got COVID, you thought the market would be tail spinning, crashing, screaming, yelling, panicking. Guess what? Down 2%. That's nothing. It basically gave back what it gained the last few days. So the market is more resilient than most of us can imagine. Okay. Hello, BTC Moon Guy. Asset inflation is real. It's now part of the reason why the dollar inflation is real. Okay, nobody is disputing that. The one thing that has kept inflation from exploding is, of course, what? Low energy costs. Okay, you can't. Okay, you can't not you can't miss or gloss over the fact that gas is $2.30, or right now I think down here is $2.15 a gallon. You can't skip that part, because if you don't know, cost of goods, many things that ship to the store for you to buy, it costs money to get there. Gas, truck, train, okay, airplane, things that require energy. And because energy cost is low, it keep a lid on inflation to a certain point. Okay. Good morning, Omega Comics. Pure Gosu say, I haven't bought a comic in 6 months, haven't seen the keys I want, and if I do, they go for crazy prices. Yeah, for sure, there is inflation in collectible. You know, not just comic books. You see it across the board, in sport cards, in Pokemon, in Magic the Gathering. It's everywhere. Okay, about the only collectible stuff that is not going up is bottle caps, beanie babies. But it's a wacky market. I'm selling into this market. Okay, if I find something worth buying to flip, I will, and I have. You know, I can go on eBay and find things to flip constantly. Okay, constantly, and it's not hard. It's plentiful out there. It's just that, you know, I am at the point of my life where I just don't want to be obsessed looking on eBay. I just want to do other things. That's one of the reasons why I want to buy less, sell more, so I can scale out of the hobby and move on with my life in my 60s. You know, I'm 50. I will be 54 in 2 months, less than that, in 6 weeks. You know, so yeah. Would I advise anybody to buy keys right now as an investment? My answer would be no, 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 no. You know, but if you're lucky enough to buy keys 3 months ago, 6 months ago, you are sitting in profit, right? I am turning 51 November 12th. Myth Lab, I am going to be 54 in November 13th. Yeah, 54. Getting there. Double X. No, you're not late today. I've just started 15 minutes ago, so I'll be on for another half an hour or so. And then time for me to, of course, make breakfast for the family or brunch. Omega said he'll be 50 this month. Yeah, a lot of us in our 50s. You know, it's one of the things that I think a lot of people need to understand is that how you want to approach this hobby in your 20s and 30s, and a lot of YouTubers out there are in their 20s and 30s that's in this hobby. They can't seem to relate to people my age or your age, and vice versa. Okay, I understand it's a huge generation gap. 20 years or 15 years is a big gap in many ways, in what I have, in my income level, in where I am with my life, in family, the whole thing. It's whenever I hear people that are 15 to 20 years younger than me questioning the way I approach things, I'm just like, you realize that you are 15, 20 years younger and you have no children, you're single? It's different. You know, you can't just look at this hobby with blind eyes as if like how you approach it is the only way. Indeed, pure ghost. I'm done. I'm basically retired. I get super annoyed when I have to work 5 hours a week. Pure ghost Sue is in his mid-30s. You got a long way to go to enjoy this hobby for sure. Hello, Alex Dang. Steve Rogers. Yes, hello. Us young guys in their 40s will gladly buy your keys at below fair market value. Don't you wish? Reality is, I don't sell many things under fair market value. I didn't get here giving things away. Some people like to give things away to buy friends. I don't. Elvis Presley said that he has been basically retired since 42. Good for you. Good for you. I start to scale out at around the same time, 42. You know, when my son was born. My son is 13. Okay, so roughly 13 years ago was my beginning of my slowing down in working and scaling out full time. So yeah, it's been a slow 13 years of unwinding, but I am 95% there. I am about 5% away from completely walk away and say F you to every one of my clients that want to ask me questions or whatever. I get annoyed every time my staff ask me questions on what to do and how to help them. I just like, just go away. Pure Go Sue, are you asking me? Or are you asking Elvis Presley? Because Elvis Presley has been retired since he's 42, so he's definitely there. Now back to the topic of the thumbnail: sell in May and go away. Now that we have that behind us, one of the things that you will hear a lot in the next 6 weeks, in the financial market, you will hear a lot that September and October's are for sure, October's are the worst month in the stock market. Okay. It's true. It is true. It is the worst month, but keep this in mind. The people that will spew out that beware. October is the worst month in the stock market. Beware, the crash is coming. Okay, I'm sure you will see plenty of thumbnails on YouTube from all the experts that have been wrong for 6 months. Spew out a lot of fear mongering. October is the worst month. Now, that being said, it is more true than many of the saying, but let me explain. First, it is the worst month, but not by a huge margin. It's not like the monthly return of September is 5%, the monthly return of November is 10%, and then the monthly return of October is minus 10%. It's not that. It's not that by a long shot. The gap between the return of, say, September and November and October is not even 3%. In general, if you go back 25 years, it's not a huge gap. It's the worst because if you look at the data, it is a small loss compared to a gain, but it's not like you better take your money out of the stock market in October because it is the worst month. Oh my God. People need to I wish more people will, not that people have time. I am an investigator. I am a forensic digger. Okay. So whenever I hear something that sounds way whack, I research. Now, I don't have to research for this because I follow the stock market. I know how things work. But a lot of people need to stop listening to experts, okay? Just because somebody is saying something, have a YouTube channel on CNBC, they're not experts. None of these people are experts of anything. Holy cow, it's just like people need to really stop listening to the news, CNBC, even YouTubers. Just how hard is it to look at the YouTubers that spew out financial advice and opinions and prediction and see how wrong they have been? Why do you keep listening to them? Why do you even pay any attention to them, right? Glycine Airman said, I can't believe what is going on with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. You know what's going on with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle? Easy to manipulate. Because the supply is few, it's easy to manipulate. So I'm not buying the hype, the pump, the bump, the nonsense with that book whatsoever. So if you believe in that, that's fine. If you chose to believe that that book has some kind of magical power to go up, to double, to triple in the last 6 months, fine. Spend your money. I will tell you this. It's one of the most easy manipulated book in the market. Easy. Too many lemmings out there. Too many. Too many. Pure Gosu asks, okay, back to your question, Pure Gosu, like, how did I do it? How did I achieve financial stability at such a young age? This is not going to be any kind of secrets to my success. Okay, I will tell you this. I work extremely hard. I work 80 hours a week. I bust my butt. Okay, Daddy was not rich. Nobody hand me anything. I earn everything. If you met any of my college buddies, they will tell you that I had my fun in college. I drank, I party, but I was very serious. You know what I mean? Long before Heath Ledger uttered the phrase, why so serious? A lot of my college buddies would tell you, they would ask me that same question. They'd be like, Nick, you should party more. You should have more fun in your 20s when you have the energy to have fun. Why are you focused so much on working, career, business, blah, 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 when you should be more about fun, travel, see the world, enjoy your life when you can, chase after girls, you know. In my 20s, I wish I still keep that piece of paper, but I kept a piece of paper in my wallet back in my 20s that my first job, my first full-time job in Boston in 1989, okay? 1989, my first full-time real job after my undergrad in Boston, $19,000. $19,000. That was my salary. I was 22 years old. Okay, it was disgusting. I was disgusted with the whole thing, and I'm just like, I can't believe 4 years of college and this is garbage. I had to live with 4 other people just to be able to afford rent. It was miserable, but I worked my butt off. My housemate in Boston, I live in a suburb of Boston, of course. I can't afford to live inside the city. But my housemate in Boston was shocked at how often I came home from work when David Letterman was on TV. Yeah, I catch the last train home many of nights, putting in 80, 90 hours a week. Insane, okay? Insane. I work my butt off. And it's to make the story short, that's what success come from. It's hard work. Nothing. I'm lucky that I was not born stupid and lazy. That's the best two. That's the best two trait that I inherit from my dad. So I'm thankful that I'm not stupid and lazy. Everything else is grinding it daily grind. Indeed, I don't want to work late. I had a goal in my 20s that by the time I'm 50, I want to be done. That was a goal that I set out in my 20s. I'm just like, I want to spend 20 years of my life in my 20s busting my hump. And I did it. Well, if you're lazy and not stupid, hopefully you find a way to make money the lazy way. Okay. There is It's nothing worse than having both the trait of lazy and stupid. Trust me. That might be offensive to hear, but how many people are successful because they are lazy and stupid? Unless they're born with a silver spoon. Okay. If you have a billionaire daddy, then you can be both stupid and lazy and still do okay. Well, comic addiction, my first job. Wow, I've been working pretty much full time since I was 14. So like I said, it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's not. I'm not sitting here telling people that I work harder than other people. I have better work ethics and I sweat more. I bleed more than other people. No, I'm not saying that at all. Don't take what I said as if like somehow I am above other people. I'm not the only successful person in their 50s. But I can tell you this: you're not going to meet a lot of successful people that are both lazy and stupid, especially self-made successful people, not inherit successful people. But back to the market, um, I think the market will be okay. I think the comic market right now, I don't see, as crazy as it is, as crazy as the comic market is, keys are exploding. Still, books are still breaking record high. I don't see a reason or a catalyst for them to crash. Okay, I don't see it. Um, I don't understand how they can go up and keep going up. Okay, so I'm not sitting here and because at the end of the day, the only way to understand it, right, is if you are in the market participating in the mania. Then you understand the thinking of other people that you're competing with. I'm not out there bidding. Okay, I'm not out there on Comic Link bidding up books because I want it so bad. I'm not the one bidding up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle because it's a hot book to have. Whatever, it's nonsense. I mean, I tune out anybody that tell me Teenage Mutant Ninja is something special right now. It has been a rare book forever. Okay, forever. I don't need a dealer to tell me it's only 3,000 copy printed. Huh? I find that offensive, to be honest, when somebody said that, as if like all of us here are clueless that only 3,000 copied that book. No, we know. We're not noobs here. Go talk to a noob. Go talk to somebody that are just new to the market and don't know. But when a dealer approach me and say something that dumb, get out of here. Comic addiction say I realized that this is not my type of life as far as washing and detailing cars when I was 17. My worst job, washing dishes. I worked in the kitchen in a restaurant. I spent a couple of summers in college and even during college working in the cafeteria and in the kitchen. So I had my share of washing dishes, bussing table, cook. I was a cook as well. Yeah. So yeah, I said this many times. The worst job I had, the worst pay I had was the best job I had, because if that was not a wake up call to do something better, what is? If your wake up call is not there when when you're washing dishes for minimum wage, what is there? What else is there needed to give you a kick, to give me a kick in the pants? Yeah, Silver Surfer one is hot, just like in my market report is super hot. It's I don't try to explain who's buying it. No doubt, speculators are bidding over each other, right? There, there, there are people that's buying it for their PC. I'm not saying that the market is going up purely because of speculation or speculators hoarding books. I'm not saying that, okay? It's usual when I say something, it's always somebody that misheard something and then they think that, oh, I'm buying for my PC. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know. Not every book that are sold are bought by speculators, so chill a little bit. You don't need to tell me that you bought it for your PC. I don't care. Okay, I know. Okay, it's but the thing is, when you have more speculators fighting over each other, along with the existing people that are buying for their PC, then you have potentially an environment where it's a mania like we have in the past 6 months. Eric, yes, I could easily be on fire all the time because I can guarantee you every day I get stupid comments from people that just assume a lot of things. Okay, they just like, this expert said this, you said that. I'm just like, based on who? What expert are you talking about? Just because you heard from some idiots, he's not an expert. You come here for discussion, that's fine. I don't need to say that I am an expert of. I'm not an expert of anything. Okay, so keep that in mind. This is just one man opinion. Don't take what I say is an expert. Please don't relay what I say is Nick ETA Nick the expert said this. I'm no expert of anything. At best, I try to provide facts whenever I say something. Okay, I'm not big on spewing out nonsense or regurgitate nonsense from experts out there is somehow it's facts and truth. That's the problem with I have with a lot of people, is that people listen to people on TV, YouTube, and then they think that's some kind of truth or facts. It's not. It's not. A lot of idiots, well-speaking idiots, spewing out a lot of stupid stuff. Ignore them, please. Good morning, John Valenzuela. Half a K-man asked, after I finish picking your 500 keepers, what are your plans for the rest? Okay, good question. Right now, I have about roughly 2,000 books left. Okay, I definitely want to reduce that down to 1,000. That's the plan for the next 2 or 3 years. At this pace, I think I can get it done for sure in 2 years. 2 years from now, I should be able to get rid of the 1,000 I definitely don't want. So all I have left is 1,000. Okay, so say 2 years or 3 years, worst case scenario, I will have 1,000 left. The question is, what do I do with that 1,000 books? Okay, because I have 500 keepers. The plan is, by that point, going forward, I will let how my son feel about collecting and keeping. Assuming that I don't need to sell anything for a living. Assuming I don't need to liquidate some books because I need to pay the bills. Okay. So say 3 years from now, my son will be 16 in high school. Who knows? He may change his view. Right now he has no desire to collect. He has no desire to keep anything. He doesn't understand how grown men are paying big money for a piece of paper, reprints, nonsense. I get it. At least he'd say comic books are more fun than sport card or Pokemon, because for him, those are just cardboard with printed pictures. Make no sense where people will pay crazy money for them. But if he changed his mind 3 years from now, to say, Dad, I would love to keep these things, then I won't sell anymore. He can have the full run of Spider-Man. He can have the full run of Fantastic Four. He can have the full run of X-Men or Silver Age. Yeah. But if he say, no way, this is not for me, I don't want it, then I will do what I have been doing the last 2 or 3 years, sell the remaining 500 3 years from now. Like I said, I want to be out of this hobby by the time I'm 60. I have no desire to make comic book videos, no desire to, I will be on YouTube with other things, but I'm not going to be here like this talking about comic book and investment when I'm 60 years old. No, hell no. Hell no. Good morning, Chili Jill. I just saw a question about heritage. I have never signed anything with heritage. I'm surprised that they are slow getting back to you as far as you asking for appraisal. You don't need to tell me what book it is. But is it 4 figures, 5 figures, or 3 figures? Come down to how responsive anybody is. It's about money. Okay. They all have limited, they're busy. Heritage is very busy with consigning, with people contacting them, collections, this and liquidating this collection, all that stuff. They're busy. Okay. So I'm not giving them an excuse, but I'm just telling you that if they have X amount of time to devote to dealing with clients, if it takes 5 minutes to deal with you, and your book is a $300 book where the commission is $30, compared to a $100,000 book where the commission is $10,000, they're gonna use that 5 minutes to deal with that book. Okay. Ideally, they will also deal with your book and your requests, because maybe your requests come in first, right, or before the other book. But you got to understand, money talk. The bigger the commission, the more attention it's gonna get. That's life. Eric asked, have I flipped the Hook 181 yet, or still holding up? I'm still holding. No rush. There's no rush on flipping the Hook 181. Okay, no rush. No need to rush. Okay. I am a believer that Hook 181 has room Yes, this is my view. I could be wrong. The Hulk 181 haters can disagree, but I believe there are room to go higher. Bye, Omega. I myself will be gone in about 5 minutes, unless there's other question. Pure Gosu asks, how many Hulk 181 had you got? I got 3. The most I have ever owned was 4. I sold one. I had a 7.0 that I sold for like 3,200 on Comic Link back in 2018. Yeah, that was the last one that I sold. I have a 9.4, I have a 4.0, and then I have a raw. The raw is probably, it's at the vault, okay? So I can't remember what the grade was. I kind of remember what it looked like. I think it's like 6.5, 7.5, something like that. It's been years. It has been probably 5 or 6 years since I even looked at that book. It's at the vault, and I have never taken it back to take a look at it. Key Comic Market Watch asks, what do you think about the newsstand premium? I think it's a real thing, okay? But if you watch my last market report, okay, if you haven't watched that, skip to the last 15 minutes. You can skip the first 30 minutes. But the last 10 minutes or so, when I talk about copper and modern, there's a couple of crazy listings where the newsstand went for less than the direct, and then one newsstand went for like 40% more than the direct. Yeah, there's a couple of crazy listing where it's a flip of both sides of the argument as far as newsstand deserve a premium. One example show you way too big of a premium, 40% more. I think it's even bigger than 40%, but it's huge. And then one where it went for like 10 or 15% less. A little bit crazy there. I think most people like newsstand more. I think that's that's part of the reason why newsstand is uh, slightly higher for many books, because it's slightly rarer. Okay, when it comes down to newsstand, my view is unless you're talking 9.6 and 9.8, then I can understand that. But when you talk about mid-grade, part of the reason why newsstand command a premium is that because for the most part, they weren't kept in better condition because of the way newsstand treat books instead of the LCS. So high grade like 9.6, 9.8, even 9.4, I can see it. But when you're talking about low grade and mid grade, I highly advise people not to pay premium of any sort to mid grade and low grade newsstand, because they are common. Okay, I would not do it. People can disagree, it's okay, but I would not pay premium for mid-grade or low-grade newsstand. There is no reason to, okay? Because they're not rare. Newsstand is not rare. Keep that in mind, please. High-grade newsstand is rarer. Okay, so just get that, wrap your head around that statement. Newsstand, mid-grade, low-grade is not rare. High-grade newsstand is rarer than direct high grade. Mystic Muff. Do you think new Fantastic Four X-Men movie will happen first? I think the Fantastic Four will happen first, but who knows? We know it's coming. Okay, the Fantastic Four and the X-Men, the New Mutants universe is coming. Would I be surprised if they come the FF come first? No. If I had to guess, pick, I would say these are light teaser at the end of the next Guardian movie, or even Eternal. They may lay a seed in the Eternals movie that hint about the Fantastic Four. You never know. Okay, you never know. It's coming. We know it's coming. Uh, my only advice to people is if you are waiting, to buy into the X-Men or the Fantastic Four, if you have to wait to hear news about concrete details on X-Men movies and Fantastic Four, you are way, way behind the curve. Okay? Please, people. If you want to participate in the flipping, in the mania, in making money, chasing after hot books, why are you waiting to hear the news? Okay? I think most people that are listening here will agree with me that, yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer. You should already have your copy. Okay? There's no need to have to wait for some experts out there to tell you that the FF is, you don't need to wait for Emergency Awesome, that channel, to pump out another false video. Oh my God, how many times can they be wrong? How many times can Emergency Awesome spew out nonsense about X-Men and Fantastic Four stuff that is completely not even true? Those guys for that channel, all they do is make up stuff. They're very good, they're entertaining, but it's mind-blowing to see the content that come out of that channel of complete nonsense on a daily basis. Woo! So much nonsense. But they get the views. They get the millions of people thirsting for more fake news. Holy cow. I have never seen so much nonsense in my life. It's comical how often they come up with more hot news about the Fantastic Four movie or X-Men when none of it is true. None of it. It's comical how people believe it. There's so many viewers that are just like thirsty for more news from that channel. Frightening. It's like the TMZ. It's not even a TMZ. At least TMZ give you real news. It's like the National Enquirer of nonsense. Mystic Move say, I'm just hoping to buy more prior to any news. Yeah. I think I'm a believer. If I was not a believer that the books have more rooms to run, why would I be holding, 6 copies of Silver Surfer 1? I mean, I can see already, oh my God, he's bragging again. I can't believe he's bragging. Well, I do have 6 copies of FF48 and 6 copies of Silver Surfer 1. I don't need to buy any more. I don't need for them, when the time comes, they will be out. But I'm just saying that to tell you that if I don't believe there are more room for them to run, why would I keep those extra copies, right? Smart money would say, sell them now, sell them when it's hot. I'm a believer that they have room to run. The trick to the speculation game, now for years is that just buy the keys. Okay? 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, just buy the keys, as I have been doing for years. If you need to wait for somebody on YouTube to tell you that the FF is coming and this and that is coming, you are way behind the curve. Stop the stupid. Okay, stop it. Just buy the goddamn keys and make the profit when people go crazy about them. Okay, don't be the one chasing, waiting for the news to confirm. Hey, holy cow! You know, it's mind-boggling how some people just approach this hobby like the wrong way. The wrong way is sitting there on your desk and wait for emergency awesome and or other channel to tell you that Dr. Doom is coming. Huh? Huh? Do we need to talk about Dr. Doom is coming? Ah, do we need to talk that the Silver Surfer is coming? He's coming. The question is when. So don't wait until Emergency Awesome put out another video to tell you that he's in the next trailer or something. It's just nonsense. This is my last question, okay, before I sign off and get ready to prepare lunch for the family. Glycine said, Nick, what do you think about low population Golden Age books? Hitler covers. Do you think demand will be lower for those in the future? With Golden Age books, especially the keys, by keys, I mean the one you mentioned, like Hitler cover Golden Age books. I would buy a Hitler covers over many pre-code horror. Okay, there are pre-code horror that are desirable, and then there's pre-code horror that nobody give a shizzle. Okay, anyone that collect pre-code horror will agree with me that there are, just like anything else, there are big books, big Batman books that are keys. There are many Batman Golden Age books that are not desirable, okay, by a lot of people. So there's always going to be a market for Hitler covers, no doubt. But there are also a limited number of people that are willing to buy them or collect them. There's a lot of, it's natural for people to say, oh, I started out collecting modern books, and then I graduate to Silver Age, and then I graduate to Golden Age. There are collectors out there that are like that. And then there are also collectors out there that say, heck no, I don't want Golden Age. I don't want ugly low grade. I don't want ugly mid grade. I only collect razor sharp 9.8 modern books because they're awesome. I only want to collect covers, modern age covers that had camel toes. I want, you know the type. So do I understand? No. But at the same time, it's not for everybody. Golden Age book is a niche. And some people couldn't care less, about Action 1 or Batman 1, or, they recognize, they know it's a big keys, but for some people, it's just like, they're happy buying modern books, and that's what make them happy. There's nothing wrong with that. If you collect what you like, then that's fine, Eric Mina said the stories are cheesy. Yeah, I mean, Golden Age books, they designed for kids. They designed for children. Um, I think a lot of people that collect Golden Age, even Silver Age, will complain that the stories are not good. Because they're not designed for grown men. Don't people get it? Don't people get it that Golden Age book was designed for 6-year-old? Huh? Yeah. So what do you expect when a 40-year-old man pick up a book from the 40s and think it's cheesy, right? That's expected. It shouldn't be a surprise. It shouldn't be, it's not Moby Dick. Nobody would draw Moby Dick for 6-year-old to read. So to me, it's I collect Golden Age. I collect Silver Age. I mean, it's I like the art. I had always been more about the art than the story. So, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all if a story is simplistic, or um, cheesy. Um, one of the things that if you understand the way Marvel was, for a long time, Marvel in the 60s produced books that is one storyline because they don't want to make it complicated. They don't want readers, children, to pick up a book and say, "Oh my God, what happened?" Because if for example, if a 7-year-old pick up Fantastic Four 49 for the first time, he will be lost because he don't know what the heck happened. So for a long time, if you look at Marvel Silver Age books, many stories are just a one-shot story. It's very simplistic because it is designed so that a reader can pick it up and be done. There is no second part, no pieces missing. And the same thing with Golden Age. Golden Age was the same thing. It's things change. Now you have mega story that's span over 8-10 issues and all that stuff. And is it better? Not really. I'd be the first to say that I disagree that today's story is better. No. Yeah. If it was better, guess what? I would be buying and reading them. I disagree wholeheartedly that they are better. But then again, that statement right there may have offended a bunch of modern readers. What's my high grade FF48? I think the best copy I have in my collection is like 8.0 ish. I shown it in my cheapest keepers. If you go back and watch my cheapest keeper video that I show off all the FF that I kept, it's in that video. It's about an 8.0, I think. I have a bunch of copies that are in the 6.0. I think the worst one is like maybe 5. But it's between 5 and 6.5 is like my duplicates copy. Anyhow, it's been an hour. Time for me to get ready to make brunch for the family. Have a good Sunday. Be safe. We are getting closer to the vaccine. Let's hope that in a month or two that we can at least talk about how things can maybe return to normal in 2021. Bye. Enjoy your football Sunday.